All right, we are streaming. We are live with some more Rug Delver. Let's head to the deck list for just a moment. We don't need to head into our first match just yet. We are running pretty much the same thing as last week. I haven't made many changes since I started streaming. I did make one change since last week. I'm playing an Echoing Truth over the one-off Simic Charm. Simic Charm is technically more versatile because it has Giant Growth and Hexproof stapled onto it. But Echoing Truth can bounce permanents that are not creatures, and that's something I think I might enjoy. I'm willing to try it out. I've heard of people having success with it and liking it quite a bit, so I'm willing to give it a shot over Simic Charm. Simic Charm sometimes is just dead. It's definitely a terrible top deck. Echoing Truth, also a bad top deck, but you can bounce Planeswalkers, and I think that's kind of neat, and might be a lot more relevant with Jace running around. Other than that, same list. Let's head over to the league. That's not where the league is. I guess I could click that to get to the league, but I'm going to want to be on the deck list anyways with that page. So let's hop into our first match for today. Should be a fun time. While we wait, besides the Echoing Truth, I don't think there's anything particular to talk about. I'm having a lot of fun with this Vendilion Click, though. I don't know if it's any good, but this card is a lot of fun. Playing it on a control player's end step, especially if they're on blue, feels great. We are on the draw. That'll hopefully be okay. This hand looks pretty good, so I'm going to assume everything's going to be just fine. We're a touch weak to discard, having only the one threat, but we've got a cantrip. And mulliganing to 6 usually also very bad against discard, so that's not a hedge. Blood Crypt out of the opponent could be many decks. Blood Crypt into Flameblade Adept. Far fewer decks. We can bolt this or hold up Spell Snare / Thought Scour. I think I'm inclined to just want to kill it. If they follow that up with a Burning Inquiry, yeah. We can't get Tarmogoyf down this turn anyways, and that's the only thing I'm going to be particularly sad about losing to Inquiry. Although, it's possible we want to fetch out a Stomping Ground with this immediately, just so that we don't end up discarding our green source. Discarding our blue source is a little less likely. I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. I'm going to get a Stomping Ground and bolt this Flameblade Adept. Having a green source is probably going to be really important over the course of this game. Well, that's not an Inquiry, so we're off to a good start. That also makes Goyf a 4/5. Flamewake, Phoenix, Bloodghast. Those are good discards. Bloodghast comes back. I would not be surprised to see a hollow one here for one. Oh, not an angler. This is a hollow one. Yep, sure. That's fine. That is fine. Flamewake Phoenix is going to be a massive pain. But other than that, we should be okay. I might even slam Nux next turn. Right now, Goyf is kind of locked into blocking duty, which is very unfortunate once they land that Flamewake Phoenix, as they're aiming for right here, because we're taking 2 a turn, and we can't stop that. We can easily block the Bloodghast. Goyf dies to Lightning Bolt. That's probably just something we have to live with. There's a pretty good chance they swing with the Bloodghast regardlessly of whether or not they have the Bolt, just because it comes back for free if they hit a land. And it can't block anyway, so we probably just want to block that. I don't like our Tarmogoyf going down to a Lightning Bolt, but if we take this, we go to 13, and then they bolt us. We're at 10. Are we really going to not block with the Tarmogoyf if they keep swinging like this? I don't think so. So I think we just have to block here and suck it up if they have the Bolt. I'm not sure if we can really survive a start this fast out of Hollow One if we aren't blocking here. Of course, this isn't even that fast of a start for Hollow One. Turn 2, Hollow One, that's not the worst. This looks like the Bolt. Yep, Sure. Dismember actually is very good. Are we willing to pay shock to have Thought Scour? Because I'm going to dismember this, bolt this, and unless they have a Gurmag Angler or a follow-up hollow one, that Flame Wake isn't coming back. Having Spell Snare up also nice. I think I'm going to take a lot of damage here so that we can cover our bases. Let's kill this. We're casting something on their turn. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something. Street Wraith is fine. A Gurmag Angler here is probably a beating. It's a Gurmag Angler. Maybe I shouldn't have bolted the Phoenix right away. We probably could have saved 2 damage off of Phoenix if we didn't bolt it. If we wait until their turn, they go to attacks. We're going to counter this, because I don't like the idea of the opponent drawing and discarding a bunch of cards here. If we, well, they don't have the Angler, so that's fantastic. Traverse is not online. We could just traverse out a forest, have a bunch of lands, and then slam Knuckleblade. I think that's better than hoping we get another sorcery in the bin. Hitting our land drops is also going to be nice if we start top decking something juicy. We let the Flamewake Phoenix attack, then we bolt it. I think that's just strictly better. Don't think I should have bolted the Flamewake right away. Faithless Looting, probably really bad for us. Nux can block a Gurmag Angler pretty favorably, given how much mana we have, so that's nice. Don't know if it's going to help. They can also swing with the Bloodghast. We're pretty well forced to block it, and if they have a Fatal Push, they get to take out our Nux, but the Angler means that Phoenix comes back. This deck is just not fun to play against if you're at all mid-rangey. I think we have to scour here. We need answers. Echoing Truth. Okay. We can... What does Echoing Truth do for us? We can bounce Phoenix, but they get to replay it. We bounce Angler, they don't get to replay it, but we're taking damage to the Phoenix. Maybe we bounce the Angler and hope to find another answer to the Phoenix. I don't think we can attack here. If we swing, we're dead. They just elect not to block and then we lose. Then again, we can bounce something with the Echoing Truth so that we don't quite die. We're dead to bolt, but we're pretty well in dead to bolt range anyways. So if we swing here, they take it. We bounce probably the Angler because we have to on their turn. They're at 8. We untap. We maybe, assuming we're not dead and they don't have a follow-up creature, we swing for another 4. If we top deck a Lightning Bolt, that's game. Okay, so attacking with Nux means we might win if we draw a Lightning Bolt and they don't have pretty much anything. Since we can grow Nux and cast Lightning Bolt for a total of 9 damage, or 8 with a shock effect, that means Tarfire and Forked Bolt would also be lethal in that theoretical scenario, so I like that. All of our burn spells are live to kill the opponent in a couple turns. We hit here, knock them down to 8. I'm assuming they don't want to block into Knuckleblade. Maybe we play out this Flooded Strand just in case. Make them fear that we have more mana. Maybe make them think we have something to do. If they don't block with the Angler, we're not going to grow Nux because we need this Echoing Truth to not die. So we're going to swing here. I assume they're not going to block. They're going to take 4. On their turn, we bounce Angler, take 4, hope we're not dead. If they hit a land, looting gives them another couple draws to kill us, but I think we're pretty close to being dead anyways. And then we have to top deck exactly a burn spell to combine with growing Nux for lethal. Snapcaster Mage not quite enough. That'll leave us 1 point short. The alternative is we don't attack. We block and eat Angler probably with the Knuckleblade. Or we block Bloodghast, bounce Angler. They can replay Angler shortly. This only costs 7 mana. They already have 3 cards in their graveyard, 3 lands here. Once we block the Bloodghast, they can even delve that away. So I think our best bet actually is to get aggressive. We have very few outs at this point, and I think if we don't get aggressive, we have basically no outs. So I want to get the opponent down to 8. We're probably dead anyways. Most of their cards kill us. We're going to let them swing before we bounce anything. Let them pick up that Gurmag Angler. Oh, if they get to replay the Gurmag Angler, we're still super dead. That's a downside. That is a very real downside. Possible we're not supposed to play the Flooded Strand so we can represent having a Bolt? I'm not sure. Pretty likely they get to put that Angler back down. Maybe this was just the wrong line. I was supposed to block the Bloodghast, bounce the Angler, take 2. Collective Brutality. Well, that also kills us, so there's that. Anyways, let's head to the sideboard. I'm not sure what the best line there is. I kind of like getting aggressive, but since they can play the Angler again very soon, that might just be absolutely the worst thing we could possibly do. Let's see how we're going to board against Hollow One. I want more answers to Hollow One itself. That card's annoying. If we didn't have to use the Dismember there, we could have dismembered a Gurmag Angler, and that's usually nice. I am a big fan of dismembering 5/5s. Anger of the Gods looks very good here. Pyroclasm also decent as a tempo play, just to temporarily take out their dudes. If they didn't have Flameblade Adept, Pyroclasm probably wouldn't be worth it. But if you can clean up a Flameblade Adept or 2 and hold off a Bloodghast or Phoenix for a turn, I think that's worth it, so I like it. Basilisk Collar, I'm a big fan of right now. Good for fatties, good for racing. Let's do it. We're going to board out a bunch of counterspells. The snares did something that game, but they didn't do much. 1 Denial, both Mana Leaks. Mana Leak is way too slow in this matchup, and they are way too recursive with their threats. I don't think Leak is really good at all here. Curious Obsession, I think, stays in this matchup, even though they're a bit too much of an aggro deck for me to really love it, because we really need to put a clock on them due to those recursive threats. I'm going to run this. Let's be on the play. How good is this hand? It has a lot of disruption. A lot of disruption. I think it's worth keeping. Don't think our average 6 is quite as good. We probably want to play this Misty so that we have access to Bolt, but if we play the Island, we get access to Denial. We can technically get a Breeding Pool off of this if we really want to cast Denial, since green lets us get a basic Mountain afterwards. I don't exactly like that very much, though. I think, given the choice, they would usually lead on a Flameblade Adept, but they're more likely to have Looting or Burning Inquiry, given that they have 8 of those, only 4 Flameblades. But if they do have the Flameblade, I think that's their play. So I kind of like running out the Misty from that perspective. I do think I get the Breeding Pool and cast Denial, though, if they go for the looting. Letting them loot is probably too good. Flameblade Adept, that's fantastic. Let's go get a Stomping Ground. It's debatable that you should let that stick around to try to clean it up with Pyroclasm later, but I think that's a little risky. Do we want to traverse out a basic mountain and put it into play? I kind of like having Denial and Bolt up, to be quite honest. I also like getting this traverse out of my hand. We don't have any creatures yet, and I don't know when Delirium's going to turn on, so I'm not exactly stoked to have this rotting in my hand. I think hitting my land drops is going to be better. The downside to that is it means we don't have Denial up for if they want to go turn 2... say, Goblin Lore. But then again, if they get a big fat Hollow One down, we can Revelry it, so I think I'd rather just leave up the Lightning Bolt. Or we let them know we have a Mountain in hand and play out the Denial anyways. Unless we draw something good, we have plenty of mana to clean stuff up next turn. That might be better. I'm going to go for the denial play here, I think. I don't think this matchup is actually as bad as it's been for us. I think it's probably 60-40 for them. I want to say our opponents just tend to get very lucky, but I really don't know. I do not know what the average match against Hollow One is actually supposed to look like. Our opponent's passing here, which I don't think tells us much. We probably want to lead on this Foothills. In case there's a turn 3 Blood Moon, we can grab a basic. We could theoretically denial the Blood Moon, or even float mana to Revelry it, but I don't think either of those are quite as good as just getting our Forest. It's also possible, yeah, I definitely like going with the Foothills instead of the Mountain here. You play out the Foothills, you can fetch and get a tapped dual land, which seems very nice. We only have one Traverse left in the deck, and there are no Simic Charms in this build, so we don't really need double green, but maybe Goyf plus Revelry, something like that. Or if we end up with two fatties in our hand, which doesn't seem very likely, but it might happen, Cobrew. If it's Cobrew, we probably just denial it. Oh, Collective Brutality sounds awesome in this deck. They discard whatever they like, and then they slam a Hollow One. It's Goblin Lore. Can't counter that thanks to that Bloodstained Mire, so that's going to resolve. Gonna hope that the opponent doesn't just put into play 8 Hollow Ones. Oh, it looks like they didn't hit much. They discarded a Hollow One, a Liliana of the Veil, that's spicy, and a Burning Inquiry. We're going to fetch a land tapped here. Nothing to do on the opponent's end steps, unfortunately. Triple red with the Steam Vents. We definitely want double blue. Do we want triple red or double green? I'm inclined to say triple red is probably ever so slightly more valuable, so I think that's what we're going to go with here. What do we got? It's a Flooded Strand. That's going to end up getting us a basic island. And we're going to pass back to the opponent. Not a lot going on here. Maybe we should have mulliganed this hand, but it was very good at slowing down the opponent. Even though they haven't really done much, we still have pretty much all of our disruption in hand, which is going to be nice for when they start doing things. If it's a Collective Brutality, we can't counter it thanks to that Bloodstained Mire. What do you have, opponent? Is it a Cobrew? This smells a lot like a Cobrew. Oh, it could be an Angler. No, it's Cobrew. Alright, they are going to take... They only discarded 2 cards. They can only discard 2 cards. We are... Wait, how did they... No, Goblin Lore just hit the graveyard because it resolved. That makes more sense. I was going to say, there are no creatures. You can't discard 2 cards. So... They are going to drain us for 2 and take our best spell. We can't really stop that, so it's just going to happen. The Bloodghast ends up in the graveyard as part of the cost, so we can't even denial this, hoping they crack their Bloodstained Mire before the Bloodghast ends up in the bin. So they're just going to have their pick at whatever the best card in our hand is. I feel like it's this Revelry. Bolt is also pretty fair, especially if they have a Flame Blade. Otherwise, they probably just want to take Pyroclasm. Bloodghast comes back. They shocked, which means probably Angler. Yeah, that's why they took the Bolt. That way we couldn't Clasm plus Bolt, but taking Pyroclasm still deals with that. Gurmag Angler going to resolve. That's not a non-creature spell. Let's get a basic island here. I don't think we need to fear Blood Moon, but we may as well. Maybe double green is kind of sort of worth it. Sure. Let's get double green. Delver, okay. Little late to the party, but it's here. I don't think there's much of a reason to Pyroclasm this Bloodghast. The opponent did miss a non-zero amount of land drop, so maybe you want to get rid of that first before playing out the Delver. That's probably just the better line. Then again, once Delver transforms, we could theoretically... No, we can't Pyroclasm on their turn. We are not blocking Gurmag Angler and casting Pyroclasm in the same turn. I think I should have gone Pyroclasm and then Delver just in case they didn't have another land. That was probably a misplay. The opponent with a Collective Brutality. Oh, that's going to take our Pyroclasm now? That's rough. We need a Goyf yesterday. We need a Goyf. They delved away the Hollow one, which was quite smart. They're going to get a Flamewake Phoenix here. I think our opponent just has us very, very beat. I wonder if I'm just playing totally wrong against this deck. We almost always seem to lose to it. I've probably beaten it once on recording. We're super dead on board, so I'm pretty sure we're just going to hit them in the face with Nux. We can also denial something if that comes up. So there's that. Actually, you know what? If they end up casting something that we can denial, I don't want to give up priority because I feel like we deserve to denial. They're just going to kill us though, so that's fine. GG's opponent. Raging Tilt Monster. That is an interesting name. So we are 0-1. Let's update OBS. I do not know how we're supposed to tackle Hollow 1. Maybe it's just a really bad matchup. I feel like it can't possibly be as bad as it seemed, but we pretty much always lose to it. Sometimes the games are close. Other times they are not. Dismember seems good. Roast didn't show up, but then again, it's a one-off. We're not going to expect Roast to show up, but I think we have a lot of good cards against them. Dismember, Echoing Truth, Roast, Tarmogoyf. We have enough cantrips that we probably have a decent chance to find them. To be fair, half the time we lose, we probably end up getting Burning Inquiry out of the game. Then again, I might be biased because of that time last league. Burning Inquiry absolutely wrecked us. We're going to be on the play here with... Blue Source, Serum Vision's probably good enough. Tarfire kind of puts me over the edge into keeping it. I'm going to grab a Steam Vents here. If we didn't have 1 mana interaction, I'm probably a lot less inclined to keep this hand. As is, we do have 1 mana interaction. I kind of want both of these. But I feel like I want Tarmogoyf next turn, unless we really need to Tarfire, so I think I want Breeding Pool on top. We'll wait on the Thought Scour for now. If we do want to Tarfire, it's possibly better to go Tarfire plus Thought Scour, but that gets rid of our green source, so that's not going to fly. Looks like we are not inclined to Tarfire here. Which Concealed Courtyard. I always get that confused with Caves of Koilos. They took Tarfire. That's very interesting. This is probably Black-White Death and Taxes then. I'm going to slam Tarmogoyf here since it's a 4-5. We don't really have a reason not to slam this. It probably eats a path, but then we get to slam Mandrills, so I don't really mind. If they shuffle away Thought Scour, we get a basic island into play. That's not the worst. Inquisition not going to be very good here. If Goyf gets pathed, I'm a lot less happy. They took Echoing Truth. I'm not sure why. Shadow? Shadow wouldn't play Concealed Courtyard. There's the push. Mandrills is going to come down. Do we want to Scour right away? Gives us more options as to whether or not, not whether or not, as to what we want to delve, so I think that's a good idea. If they just have a Liliana to follow this up, I'm going to be pretty sad. Much rather would have drawn the Denial than the Misty, I think. But then again, without the Misty, we're not playing out the Denial anyways, since we have to tap this blue source. I kind of just want to play out the mountain so they don't know what we drew. Make them sweat a little bit. What are we going to delve here? That's not great. Echoing Truth can probably go. Tarfire I want to leave. We can get rid of the land since we have that Misty. 2 cards have to go. Probably safe to get rid of a creature, and it's probably just the Stubborn Denial. Maybe the Traverse instead. Let's get rid of the Traverse. That's probably not getting flashed back. If the opponent's on Liliana here, we are in for a beating. If they're not, we might be okay. If they have Path, we're still going to be hurting. It might be black-white Death and Taxes. It might be black-white tokens. Gideon, okay. Maybe it's just a black-white mid-range control deck. Curious Obsession. That's not going to be very good here since damage that this deals is prevented, so I think we're just going to pass here. That Gideon's going to give us a very rough day, like it usually does out of blue-white. There's Liliana. This is not going well. They're going to bash in with Gideon. At least we don't die in 3 turns. 4 turn clock because that doesn't have the 5th point of power. Cracking this doesn't speed up their clock, so it's probably worth it. Stomping Ground, I probably just want another blue source just in case we hit a string of cantrips. Not sure how we beat both of those planeswalkers. Dismember takes care of Gideon, which is very relevant. Damage is prevented. -1, -1-ness is not. They might play around that by starting off with a discard spell. I don't know. If they take up Liliana, we probably just discard the Obsession. Roast might be slightly more valuable. We have to deal with Liliana before Curious Obsession on a threat is even good, so I think we're just going to bin that. Definitely getting sided out post board. Wall of Omens, sure, that's something we can roast. So it's probably a black-white mid-range deck. Wall of Omens draws some cards. We're going to let them swing. Basically taking 4 off of Gideon to cast Dismember. But it deals with Gideon permanently, so that's nice. We have Nux. If Nux came a turn later, it would have been awesome. We would have roasted Wall here, and then we slam Nux, give it haste. I think I'm just going to slam Nux, give it haste, attack at Liliana. That's probably the best thing we can do. That way it doesn't get to tick up. If we just roast the Wall of Omens, this ticks up, we lose Nux. If we slam Nux and swing, Wall of Omens still dies. And if they don't have a path, they have to give up Liliana to kill it. Our opponent doesn't have that much gas left in the tank. Only 2 cards in hand. Definitely better than what we have. That was the path. Let's get an island. We have Traverse online. That probably should have been a basic forest. Obzedat. Okay. Okay. So that's our game. Usually the Obzedat decks are Esper playing blue in addition to black-white. Now I believe that's about to come back, if I am not mistaken. At the beginning of their end step, exile it. At the beginning of their next upkeep, it comes back with haste, so we're just dead. They already know about Mandrill, so there's not really a downside with playing it. We might just get them to show us an extra card if they don't think to just kill it with Liliana. Yep, that's fine. So, Path. Second Gideon got discarded to Liliana recently. Yeah, we don't have blockers. Fatal Push, Inquisition, Thoughtseize. Seems like basically your standard black-white mid-range deck, if there is a standard black-white mid-range deck. I don't think there's usually one running around in Modern, so I'm going to say there isn't a standard list going around, but that's probably what it would look like. So how do we board against that? Huntmaster seems great. They're going to be pathing us. Basilisk Collar is going to gain us all kinds of life. I don't know if that's actually something we want. Death Touch is probably irrelevant. The lifelink could be real. EE deals with Lingering Souls, which they're probably running. EE on 3 deals with Planeswalkers, which seems like something nice for the late game. Revelry probably isn't going to be very good. I'm not expecting many enchantments. Wall of Omens pretty much disqualifies them from being a black-white tokens deck. Gideon probably does as well. I don't think black-white tokens even runs Liliana, but maybe. Blood Moon seems great. They're either going to discard it, or it's going to do great things. Vendilion Click seems nice. End step to hit some walkers. Flying is a good thing, resistant to Fatal Push. Something I like. I don't think I want Deprive. Spreading Seas could be good, I'm not sure, and we don't want Rejection. So we're going to be cutting things that are bad against discard decks with very few creatures. Echoing Truth hits Planeswalkers, and they specifically discarded it, so I kind of want to keep it in. Mana Leaks are probably going to go, but maybe they stay on the play. Spell Snare I can live with dumping. Obsession can go. Probably a number of Thought Scour, maybe a Mandrills as well. They might be boarding in Rest in Peace. I kind of want to play around something like that just in case. We have a lot of creatures anyways, and we need to cut more cards, so I think that's fine. 1 Thought Scour probably enough. Maybe we cut 1 Denial. We could cut a Forked Bolt. That I can probably live with. Forked Bolt is nice against Lingering Souls, and we're not going to be running many answers to Souls specifically. Echoing Truth actually a decent answer to that too. That's something. That is definitely a point for Echoing Truth here. Do I want the Spreading Seas? Turns off one of their lands. On the play, it's definitely better than the draw. Might turn off Gideon and Liliana. Draws a card. I think we're going to run this. That hand is definitely a keep. We're going to start off on Delver. Play out a Mishra's Bauble. See if we can get this guy transformed. Maybe slam a big fat Goyf afterwards. Oh, we have priority because we can crack this Bauble. I gotta say, Mishra's Bauble and Engineered Explosives are very annoying for when you don't want priority. Delver's going down, so we're just going to crack this, taking a look at what they're going to draw. It's a Gideon. We're going to want to play around that if we can. Dismember. That's a start. That is definitely a start. Oh, we have Blood Moon mana. Look at that. Let's get a basic forest. This is not going to be ideal if they have a bunch of paths. But we're going to do... we have priority because EE on 0. Okay, now we don't have priority because we can't cast that at instant speed. And they just have the second push. Alright, that's fine. Foothills. Oh, maybe we dissuade them from thinking we're on Blood Moon. I don't really want to play out this EE yet. I'd rather play it out after they start slamming Planeswalkers. This is going to be Gideon. That's okay. It's probably going to tick up now and then 0 next turn. I believe the 0 is when it... Yeah, the 0 is when it becomes a creature. Oh, they made the emblem. That's smart. That is smart. We can just kill Gideon with a lightning bolt. Do we just kill Gideon with a lightning bolt? I want to get Stomping Ground here. This is probably getting a basic island anyways. We bolt Gideon. There's a pretty good chance they just have another of these. But they might not. I'm just going to kill it. That lightning bolt probably is not getting very much better. They get to keep their emblem though, so as soon as they have another Gideon, we're going to be in trouble. That'll get our basic island. We could use some good top decks. We have them in the deck. They're there. We have Delirium online. Both Traverses doing great things right now if we can draw them. Ghost Quarter, I don't think scares me very much. It definitely insulates them from Blood Moon. There's the follow-up Gideon. That makes sense. That one's just going to tick up. Yep, make sure steam vents can't hurt them. We're just going to grab a basic island off of Flooded Strand. We don't need more mana off of Path anyways. Think I would rather just get my basics. Noticeably, the opponent's draw played around Blood Moon very well. They did not crack any fetch lands. These basics both came up on their own. There's a good chance they play a lot of basics, though, given that they're a two-color deck. What do we got? Tarmogoyf, that's a start. That is a start. Let's play out Misty. It's debatable that you don't want to play out this Misty in case they go Liliana tick up. That's a path. Can't stop that one. Let's get probably just the basic mountain since we can use Misty to get whatever we want. But we could get the island here and then use Misty for the breeding pool. And I don't think we need triple red anytime soon, so that's probably just fine. Unfortunately, this is often how mid-range matchups go for us. If the opponent just has all the removal that they need, the game's going to go very long. Fortunately, we aren't exactly drawing the worst. I wouldn't say we're drawing the best, but we're not drawing the worst. Cracking the Misty is probably just fine. It's possible we want to leave it uncracked, just in case we want to get the steam vents if they try to ghost quarter our red sources. We already have double green. Let's leave that alone for now. Stubborn Denial. That would have been fantastic last turn. Definitely a problem you run into with Rug Delver. Sometimes you have the threat, and then the threat gets answered, and then you draw the card that protects the threat. Bauble makes me feel pretty good about saving this Misty. We're not going to use it just yet, since the opponent is on a Thoughtseize deck. We don't want to draw something great only for them to take it away at their earliest convenience. We're going to crack this Bauble on their turn, not going to look at their top card. Our top card is probably better to look at. Well, the opponent drew more lands than we did. They probably should. I assume they have more than 17. Blood Moon. That turns off a lot of their stuff, but they can take out our basic forest in response. And that's probably bad, so I think I'm going to shuffle it away. Oh, but if they don't ghost quarter their own lands, it takes them off of Gideon and Liliana. We get to draw 2 cards. Maybe we play a threat before slamming Blood Moon. I really want to cast that Blood Moon. I also really want to have basic green mana available. I think we're going to fetch here. I don't think it's worth it. Let's get a green source. Triple green, probably slightly better than triple red. Draw a couple cards, hopefully hit something good. Visions is nice. Misty is less nice. Don't really want to crack many more fetch lands. Another Denial, and we don't have great targets for this Snapcaster Mage, so these are both going to head to the bottom. Don't think we even bother playing out the Misty. We'll hold on to it for, I don't know, Liliana taking up. I don't think you want the Blood Moon there. If they didn't have the Ghost Quarter, I would probably be ecstatic to draw Blood Moon. Here is a Flicker Wisp, flickering one of their lands, I guess. There's not really anything else to flicker. Mana Leak. Well, that is very bad at this point. Would have been very good on turn 3. Counter that first Gideon. We were on the play. We didn't have anything else to do that turn. Our Goyf had just been pushed. We don't have an answer to this Flicker Wisp. I'm not stoked to EE on 3 it. I'd love to not have to. I think we are going to have to, though. Green, blue, red. Otherwise, that's just going to kill us too soon. Maybe we don't do it yet. Maybe we give them one more turn to hit us. EE on 3 isn't going to take out any of our cards, and we might just nab a Planeswalker. This is a lot worse, though, if they have Thoughtseize or something, but they would have been discarding us this entire time, so they have to top deck that. So I think I'm going to play out my Delver and pass, take 3 one more time, go to 4 life. That does make a top-decked Gideon lethal. Maybe we wanted to blow up the Flicker Wisp immediately. I do like the idea of hitting a Planeswalker, though, in addition. That sounds very nice. Liliana would probably tick down on the Delver, so that's not great for us. How you doing, Baggy Trouser? We are 0-1 right now. This is our second Felidar Guardian. Okay, so they're going to do a lot of flickering. This is our second game against Black-White, some sort of mid-range deck. We lost game 1. Doesn't look like game 2 is going that well. I don't know. Why are they flickering those back and forth? Oh, now they're going to flicker the Flicker Wisp with the Felidar Guardian to flicker our Delver of Secrets. And now Delver's going to be gone for our turn. That was the point of that. We're still just going to blow up the Flicker Wisp with this EE. We didn't get to hit a Planeswalker with it, which is unfortunate. I feel like Blood Moon not going to do much now that they've drawn their second basic planes. So we probably just EE on 3, kill this, and slowly die to a Felidar Guardian. X is 3. Let's pop it. And what do we do at this point? Hold up Stubborn Denial. What are the chances Misty Rainforest and Mana Leak are actually useful? I'm just going to assume there's nothing in their deck that's worth mana leaking. I think I'd rather have the Misty in hand, but you know what? We have so many denials we can discard to Liliana. I don't think that's relevant either. We're going to get Delver back. Delver is not very good against Felidar Guardian. If it transforms, they can have a staring contest. Wall of Omens, sure. Three mana smells like Gideon. Ooh, it's another Flicker Wisp. They're probably going to do the thing again to get rid of Delver. Make sure we can't block that Felidar Guardian. Oh, or they'll just flicker the Wall of Omens. That works too. Although they could have gotten extra style points by flickering the Felidar Guardian and using that to flicker the Wall of Omens. That's going to happen. We're not going to crack that fetch in case we find an answer to the Flicker Wisp, because that's an extra turn that Felidar Guardian has to hit us. I think if I'm them, I like flickering this Delver away instead of going for the Wall of Omens here. We have a Hooting Mandrills. We can fetch that away, hoping to find an answer. So there's that. We're not dead yet. We are not dead yet. Let's get that Steam Vents. Even if we didn't have a land, it's definitely worth it to fetch there, because if we don't, we are dead. What do we got? Visions. It's another Visions into a Snapcaster Mage. Bottom this Delver of Secrets. Cast Serum Visions. Look at the blue deck cobbling together a way to survive. Hooting Mandrills now seems great. Earlier in this turn, it seemed quite awful. Now I would love a Hooting Mandrills. We are going to Snap Bolt this Flicker Wisp, I believe. I don't think we have anything better to do. Bolt, Dismember, Visions. Not going to use Visions to find a different way to deal with Flicker Wisp. We're going to take the one that the deck gave us. On the bright side, this emblem is doing a lot of nothing. Kill that. And we get to hold up more very bad denials. Swinging with Delver seems pretty useless. I believe Snapcaster Mage is going to be chump blocking Felidar Guardian here. Gideon, Oblivion Ring. Okay. Can't stop that, so it's going to happen. Take Delver, sure. Do they have a push? They have Lily. Alright, we're dead. We are dead. We almost had the line. And then we Hooting Mandrills. Mandrills blocks this forever. Eventually we find an answer to the Felidar Guardian, and roughly 5 turns, no, 6 turns because of this Wall of Omens. 6 turns after that, we win. We're actually not dead. I forgot this only has 1 power. Okay. So we slam Mandrills. Green. We may as well just delve a bunch. Visions, land, 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 land. We had a lot of lands. We may as well play out the Blood Moon at this point. Maybe. If they decide to Ghost Quarter our green source, I guess going with we're probably dead anyways isn't a very productive attitude, so we need to hope to answer this Liliana. Maybe this Oblivion Ring. Mandrills can have a staring contest with this for a while, and we have plenty of blue. I think we're going to pass here. Do we play out Blood Moon? We can theoretically never cast another green card, and that's really bad for us eventually winning, but it means the opponent doesn't cast another Liliana probably, which is nice. Then again, most of their answers to Mandrills are white. I'm just going to pass the turn here. Maybe having Leak, Denial, Denial matters, and I don't think we're going to end up winning this game if we don't have green mana. Even though we're probably not winning this game regardlessly, Leak is probably the one that gets pitched here. Maybe it's Blood Moon to grow the eventual Tarmogoyf. It's going to be Mana Leak. And if we do win, we should speed this up a little bit. Rest in peace. Is that worth countering? We're probably not doing much else. I think that's fine to counter. Means we have 1 fewer answer to Path. But I think that might be okay. I want the eventual Tarmogoyf to be good. What do we got? It's a Lightning Bolt. We can kill Lily. We are in this game, folks. We are in this game against all odds. That's what we do. We survive. We're probably not winning anytime soon. But you know what? We are not dead yet. I think as soon as they tap that Ghost Quarter, we're going to slam Blood Moon. Once we have insurance that our green top decks are live, God Mountain's a bad draw. We probably just want to cut them off of as many of their draws as we can. They probably have another Swamp they'll draw eventually. Likely long before we get anywhere close to winning this game. Field of Ruin can only hit non-basics, so that's nice. Second Mandrills, that's a good reason to counter that Rest in Peace, although it really doesn't matter. Are we ballsy enough to attack? Are we ballsy enough to attack? If they have we can beat the first answer. We're getting in there. Look at us go. If we win this, we have to find a way to celebrate somehow. If we take this game, after all of this, I think we need a way to celebrate. Snapcaster Mage can go. We have more creatures. Mana Leak can go. Let's tap some more mana. Blood Moon's still not going to come down. They can get their second swamp off of this Field of Ruin now. Field of Ruin targeting Breeding Pool. Let's float blue, because that's what we do. That's fine. Notably, with Field of Ruin, contrary to, I believe... yeah, that's fine. I believe Ghost Quarter is a May. Ghost Quarter is a May. Path is a May. Field of Ruin is not a May. You do not have a choice in the matter with this card. Your deck is getting shuffled. With Path to Exile, you can elect to not get your land so that you maintain your scries. Flooded Strand is awful here. We're going to keep swinging with 1 Mandrills at a time. If they have 2 removal spells, we are very dead. I think they're keeping that Wall of Omens in play in case they find a way to flicker it. Thoughtseize. That's going to take our Stubborn Denial. We're going to let them do it anyways because there's not much of a downside to that resolving. They take 2. Do they have Path? They have Rest in Peace. Okay. Goyf and the remaining Snapcasters got a lot worse, but we have Click. We have Huntmaster. If we draw a Huntmaster, that would just be so fantastic. Tarfire. That's not great. That means if we swing with both and they don't block either of them, we win. It's pretty unlikely for that to go down, though, as you see them blocking with the Wall of Omens here. They're getting pretty close to the point where they would lose. If they don't have a removal spell here, we might be okay. They have a Demonic Pact. On their upkeep, we're going to lose. This is going to deal 4 to us. So, it's time to win. We can't without an answer to that Felidar Guardian. They're going to block a Mandrills, and we are going to die. Well, we tried. We tried. They block. They're going to take 4. Unfortunately, we needed them to be at 2 right now. They are going to dome us for 4. We're going to Tarfire in response, because that's what we do. And, well, we almost got there. We almost got there. Let's update OBS. Not a great start, but we have had comebacks. Black-White Midrange. Black-White Super Friends, maybe? The only Planeswalkers we saw were Liliana of the Veil and Gideon of the Trials. So I'm assuming that they're not on a Super Friends kind of build. Those are probably just extremely good 3-mana Planeswalkers that the opponent likes. Let's hop into the next match. This hand's a keep. I think Black-White Midrange is probably just a bad matchup for us. We'll grab a Steam Vents, cast Serum Visions, probably throw that Bauble down. See what we could see. Second Mandrills makes me kind of want the second Mishra's Bauble. We can get rid of the Roast if it's bad, so I like having that around as well. Let's cast this. I don't want to crack the Bauble yet. For those of you who are just joining now, we have a one-off Echoing Truth in the deck over Simic Charm that I'm trying out. Should maybe be fun. I don't know. We're playing against an Oath of Nissa deck, which makes me want to assume that this is a Saheeli Rye deck, probably comboing with some stuff. We don't need to know what's on top of our deck. We want to know what's on top of their deck. Felidar Guardian, look at me calling them like I sees them. Drawing Roast seems pretty decent here, so I'm okay with it. We are going to slam one of these Mandrills. We're going to fetch regardlessly of what Bauble shows us, so I don't think that matters. We're also going to Scour. We really want to get a Mandrills down here, so I don't think it actually matters. Let's get rid of the first Bauble, a land, 2 Thought Scours, and Bolt, maybe. Yeah, let's get rid of Bolt. I think Black-White Midrange is probably just a bad matchup for us. They have Thought Seizes, Inquisitions, those are good against us. Fatal Push, that's pretty great. Path to Exile, that's awesome. Gideon of the Trials, one of the cards I least want to see out of... Oh, we can bounce that at our leisure, that's not the worst. Gideon of the Trials, one of the cards I least want to see out of Blue-White. Activated abilities are A-okay. Let's get more information out of them. A land on top, sure. They have Liliana of the Veil, one of Jund and Obzon's best card against us. I'm just going to operate under the assumption that we don't want to go up against such a deck. Playing out 2 spells here probably going to be nice. I want to swing. I also want to kill this Voice. I know it's going to make a token, and I know that's pretty good for the opponent. But on the other hand, they're probably going to go turn 3 Eldritch Evolution, and things are going to be even worse for us. So we probably just kill this, let them have just the 0 CMC card. Probably going to be Forked Bolt plus Slam Delver. We could cast this Traverse, which fuels our next Mandrills better, and will help us hit some land drops, so I kind of like that. Let's go get a basic island. Head back over to the opponent. Don't think you want to let the opponent, who showed you Felidar Guardian and Oath of Nissa, get to turn 3 with their sack creature. What do we got? Is it Evolution? It's Fiend Hunter. That's probably getting roasted. I would have liked to save the roast for a Felidar Guardian, assuming we ever ended up going to our turn. They probably wanted to swing with the Elemental. I don't see much of a reason not to there. Wooded Foothills, not the best. Means we can cast a bunch of spells, though. And that's not bad. We roast this. This didn't transform. We probably want to leave the Wooded Foothills to scry for Delver. We're going to roast the Fiend Hunter, slam our second Mandrills, and we're essentially going to be tapped out. We can actually swing with the Delver here now that they only have one creature, and I'm assuming they don't want to block. If they do, I'm probably A-okay with trading this Delver. Those elemental tokens get out of hand very quickly. Then again, we have an Echoing Truth here. Roast would be very nice to flashback with Snapcaster Mage. Don't think we really care about Traverse at this point. I would rather play around having good things for Snap. Echoing Truth could bounce the token, but Echoing Truth could also bounce whatever creatures they put into play from this point on, which is probably even better just to tempo them out just enough that we close the game. Ewit, that's fine. They're probably getting back Fiend Hunter. Maybe Voice. They can't play either this turn, so that's A-okay. They have a Foothills in their hand that they probably want to get on the board. I don't think they shuffled this away. There it is. So we know about Fiend Hunter and Felidar Guardian. We're going to crack this, I think. Just in case we draw a 2-mana spell. We could get double green and double red. That's probably worth it. Bolt, Snap, Bolt. What do we got, deck? It's Nux. That's a good reason to have double red. We can force blocks here. They're going to chump Knuckleblade, but I don't believe they can kill us with this Felidar. Assuming they hit their land drop, they're going to have 5 lands, tap 4 of them to cast the Felidar, they untap 1 of them, they have 2 mana, Saheeli costs 3. Unless they have rituals in their deck, we're not really scared. I don't think Fiend Hunter is going to be much of an issue when we have 3 threats on board. That needed to tap for red. Nux. If they mess up and block a Hooting Mandrills, we win on the spot. They could have interaction with this, but they probably don't. This is the kind of deck that runs a few paths as their interaction at most, because they just want to gum up the board. They scooped. Fantastic. Alright, how do we board against... I assume that was 4-color? We saw Sacred Foundry. 4-color. Did they have blue? They definitely have blue, because they have Saheeli in their deck. But they might just be using Oath of Nissa to cast Saheeli, which would be neat. Alright. Assuming we deal with the combo in a timely manner, the game is going to go long, and they're going to try to outvalue us with creatures. Basilisk Collar, Engineered Explosives, Huntmaster all look excellent in that case. Anger of the Gods, fantastic. I don't think I want Blood Moon. That's the kind of deck that runs a bunch of Mana Dorks. You can also sack Mana Dorks to Eldritch Evolution, even using the Mana Dork. Turn 1 Bird, turn 2 Evolution, sack it, get Renegade Rallier, get back Bird. That's not bad. Blood Moon seems bad. Pyroclasm seems like a good time. Ancient Grudge, probably not worth it. Vendilion Click, probably not as well. Deprive, probably not. Spreading Seas, Rejection, so we probably want these 6. These look like our good cards for the matchup. Dismember and Roast look nice. Echoing Truth, I'm iffy on. I could see cutting a Mana Leak. We probably want to dump Curious Obsession. Spell Snare looks pretty good. Snare hitting a Voice of Resurgence is something I'm happy about. Let's cut at least 1 Denial, probably 1 Scour. I could see cutting a Mandrills. I don't expect too much Graveyard Hate. They're a Graveyard deck themselves. They're definitely not running... Excuse me. That was one hell of a flub. They're definitely not running Rest in Peace, but I could maybe see Relic or something to that effect. Probably not, but maybe. I want these Forked Bolts. Traverse seems good. Bauble I don't want to cut. Maybe it's just the 2 Mana Leaks. Anyone think we should keep Mana Leak? Mana Leak hits Eldritch Evolution. I'm going to cut a Spell Snare, because they don't have that many 2s, even though it's bonkers when you have it. I really like the idea of countering an Eldritch Evolution. Although we're not always going to be able to do it on the draw, so maybe we cut one of those until next time when we're on the play, assuming we lose. We could cut another Thought Scour, but I'm not really happy about that either. Maybe a Mandrills, but Mandrills is pretty decent. They might just gum up the board too much for Mandrills to be good, but if they only gum it up a little bit, Nux is pretty bad. We're not cutting Tarmogoyfs. I like Snapcaster Mage. Anyone have good ideas for what to cut? Maybe it's a Traverse. That's something I've done when pretty much all of our cards are good, or at least the majority of them are good. It's probably Traverse or Echoing Truth. We're on the draw, so maybe Traverse is slightly better. Help us hit our land drops, but maybe being on the draw means you're going to hit your land drops anyways. This hand's a keep. If they have the bird, we're probably going to bolt it. Otherwise, we hold up Spell Snare. No bird. We could bobble here. Bobble Scry sounds kind of nice. It's a Basilisk Collar. That's not bad. It's going to take a little while for me to actually want to draw that, though. I'm going to assume we're going to hit our lands sooner or later, so I don't mind drawing that. We are definitely slamming some Tarmogoyfs before, though. That is not coming down before the Goyfs. Voice? Oh, yeah. Spell Snare on Voice of Resurgence. Make my day. Another Bolt. That's a good pickup. Let's grab... I kind of want to get a Stomping Ground here since red is probably more important than blue in this game. Oh, we also have Anger of the Gods. I like getting Stomping Ground here. We're just going to casually drop a 4-5. If they path it, I'm actually not that upset. If they Fiend Hunter it, I'm going to be a little sad. Probably play the Basilisk Collar and then on their turn bolt the Fiend Hunter. I imagine that's how that would go down. Sacred Foundry, they can play the Fiend Hunter. Do you have it, opponent? You got it. Goyf gone temporarily. We could also just play out a second Tarmogoyf. Do we kill Fiend Hunter or play the second Tarmogoyf? I think the right answer might just be slam the second Tarmogoyf. We can bolt this at our leisure. Notably, we cannot bolt a Felidar Guardian. We can bolt Saheeli, we're fine. Not a single problem. Mandrills. We could cast that, but it makes Goyf a lot worse. We're going to swing here, give them the option to block, and let us keep these bolts in hand. There could be an argument to not playing out the Basilisk Collar here so that we can bolt twice. This looks like a path. Ooh, Blessed Alliance. We are going to sack an attacking creature. Well, we only have one of those. I don't think they have a way to flicker creatures at instant speed, so we're just going to bolt the Fiend Hunter on their turn. Give them less information about what's going down. They are getting close to being able to combo off. Pretty soon we're going to hold up red mana to bolt the eventual Saheeli. Once they hit 6 lands, they can tap 4 for Felidar, untap 1, have 3 mana, play Saheeli, go off. So, one more turn and we probably want to hold up a Lightning Bolt, which is definitely going to slow us down a lot. Mandrills should make that a lot easier on us. Felidar Guardian. If they target the Fiend Hunter, we're going to bolt it. They're targeting a land. Sure. Well, now they don't even need to untap a land in order to go at us with the combo. I'm interested in them not swinging there. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just don't think they need to, since they plan on winning with infinite damage. We got a Tarmogoyf back. That's nice. Tarfire. I think Tarfire actually kills the Saheeli combo too, which is very interesting. We're going to swing here and probably play out the Mandrills since we only need one of these lightning bolts. They haven't played Oath of Nissa yet. So assuming they don't get a blue source with this and then play a blue source for turn, they can't play 2 Saheelis, which is the only way they can really punish us for slamming this Mandrills. So I believe I'm just going to delve 5 here, leave the bauble. Their graveyard is stocked enough for Goyf to be healthy, so that is just fine. What do we got, opponent? Breeding Pool. Alright, they're halfway to beating us. They just need exactly blue source, Saheeli, Saheeli, and we're going to game 3. Could you imagine if they have exactly blue source, Saheeli, Saheeli? How wicked would that be? Well, nothing for the opponent just yet. We probably have enough burn spells that I want to bolt them on the end step here. Oh, they're playing something. That changes things. 5 mana? Chord for 2. That's probably a Voice of Resurgence. What else can they get on 2? Not much that I can think of. Voice makes me want to bolt the opponent right here. So I'm just going to do that. That way we can be more efficient with our mana. We might just kill them if we cast all 3 of these burn spells. So I think I want to do that. I don't think they get it. Oh, Wall of Roots. That's good. That is very good. That's going to buy them plenty of time. We're not going to tap out for Tarmogoyf. Don't think that's worth it. We could put the Basilisk Collar on this Mandrills, but I don't think that's worth it either. Couple turns, and I think we got this. So long as they, once again, do not have double Saheeli and that blue source. They could court for 0 here using that Wall of Roots. They are not playing around Lightning Bolt. They probably shouldn't play around Lightning Bolt at this point, given that their combo dies to it, and we're very far ahead. I think if they block Goyf with this Felidar to avoid dying to Bolt, they probably just lose in the long game, so I like that play out of the opponent. We just got on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. 1-2. Let's update that. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. We are going to hop into our next match. Let's head over to the deck. Here is the Echoing Truth that took Simic Charm's spot. I don't usually love my 4-color Saheeli matchup because it is a very creature-based grindy deck, which we historically are not good against. But you know what? If we can get on board and hit hard and fast, we're probably in a good spot. And they also didn't have turn 1 Mana Dork either of those games, so that's nice. We're going to keep here. We are also going to fetch out a Steam Vents, play a Delver on turn 1, and let our opponent that we want them to have decent luck and fun too. Our opponent mulled to 6, scry to the bottom. Let's slam this Delver. Head over to the opponent. Ooh, Shambling Vents tapped. I like that it dies to Lightning Bolt. I don't like that it gains the opponent life. They could be on Mardu. If they're on Mardu, slamming this Goyf is terrible. If they're not on Mardu, slamming this Goyf is pretty well the best thing I've ever done. We definitely attack first. I am going to check MTG Goldfish to see how many Mardu lists are running Shambling Vent these days. Most Mardu lists, I think, are the Pyromancer Reveler build right now. So I have a feeling an opponent who leads on a Shambling Vent is not playing red. There is a chance that they are, but probably the vast majority are not, which makes me feel a little better about playing out this Tarmogoyf. Anybody playing Shambling Vent in these lists? No one playing Mardu Pyromancer plays it. I'm going to go ahead and slam a Tarmogoyf. I think This is our best play. It's a little risky. Goyf might die to a lightning bolt. But Goyf could also die to an Inquisition of Kozilek. So, you know, trade off here, trade off there. Get your points where you can get them. Goyf dies to Fatal Push anyways, so I think the vast majority of removal in the opponent's deck kills this Goyf, no matter what its size is. But if they are playing red, I would be a little sad. This could be an upkeep path. Oh, it's not a draw step path. We have another Goyf. Let's swing in for 4. We probably should have traversed pre-combat for a forest and then played the second Tarmogoyf. That makes the first Goyf a 2-3, meaning we get an extra point of damage in here, which probably ends up being relevant over the course of this game, even though we do have 2 lightning bolts. Oh, and they're pushing Delver. That makes it even better. Goyf would be a 4-5 right now. Think I'm just going to make that play and get a couple Goyfs on board. Make sure we click the basic forest. I do not want to get an island. That would suck. That would suck a lot. Denial off the top looks kind of live. Assuming they don't answer both of these Goyfs. I'm half expecting a Liliana here. We're probably up against Obzon. This could be another black-white deck, but it's probably Obzon. They're thinking about stuff, which means they probably have a lot of options, which is probably bad for us. That or they're thinking about stuff because their options are so bad that they're trying to squeeze out every percentage point that they can get. So maybe this is actually a good sign. I like having 2 Tarmogoyfs on turn 3. That's something. Could have had the opponent at 12 life right now if I sequenced better, so that's also something. Looks like straight black-white. Lily? Gideon. Oh, I hate Gideon. Well, one of these Goyfs is going to kill it. The other is going to hang back and potentially block something. If they have a Slaughter Pact, they can keep Gideon alive. Although we theoretically double bolt it in that case. I don't really like that at all. Should we have just swung at them? We could have put them to 7, and we have 2 bolts in hand. If this is a damnation, it is a wipe. That's good on our opponent's part. That's very good on their part. I noticed the possibility of that just a little too late. Wooded Foothills, not the best card to recover from a board wipe. Our opponent put themselves in an excellent position with that. I feel like since we had the 2 threats, we probably just swing at face. No, it's because of the 2 bolts. If you just have 2 Goyfs on board, you probably have to kill Gideon anyways, because as soon as they draw a removal spell, you're in a terrible spot. But man, we could have had them at 7. Double bolt puts them to 1. Thoughtseize is game. We could bolt them twice with this on the stack. Do we bolt them twice with this on the stack anyways? What do they go to if we do that? 6 plus 2 is 8. They would be at 3. Bolt and Snapcaster Mage and Traverse off the top are lethal. Unfortunately, this looks better. They're going to Thoughtseize away our Dismember so that we can't answer this. They need a black source here in order to get lifelink anyways. I'm going to go for this. In this spot, I don't think we have much better to do. This makes me really wish I swung at face. I'm not sure if you read a board wipe out of that. Maybe. It's definitely way better in this scenario to just swing both at the opponent. But, I don't know. Sorry, swing the one at the opponent. The second Goyf doesn't do much of anything. If they have a black source here, they're going to start gaining life. I'm going to hope they don't have a black source here. They have Field of Ruin to hit one of our red source is also our blue source. I should have fetched with that on the stack. I don't think that actually matters. We get the other steam vents with the foothills. I believe it's still in the deck. S. There it is. Wait for it. We're going to get past the snare. That's going to be had off of the wooded foothills, which means we're still going to have 2 mana of each color, which is nice. We may as well wait until they can't cast anything to crack this. They don't need to know what's up. Let's get the steam vents and top deck. Go. Not the top deck. Do we play the Misty? Probably not. The opponent's slowly going to gain life and get out of this. Man. Should we have swung the Goyf at them? If you swing Goyf at them, we have the 2 bolts. We have 2 bolts. Gideon actually doesn't scare me nearly as much as them just attacking with Shambling Vent. I don't care about that Knight ally. I almost don't even care about Gideon himself. Serum Visions. Now we might play this and crack it. Okay. Math time. We crack this, we go to 13. This swings in for 5. We're at 8. 2, we're at 6. 2, we're at 4. Being at 5 does not meaningfully change their clock, so we're going to grab a basic island and make sure that we can cast a bunch of cantrips. I'm pretty sure we just lose, but I'm going to top both of these. Pretty sure we just lose. Do you swing at them? I am probably going to be harping over this decision for the next week. We have the 2 bolts. We know we can put them to 1. Is that worth letting Gideon survive? If they go to 1, removal spell pretty well makes it so that we can't win with creatures. But they're at 1. And that's pretty relevant. Maybe you just put them to 1. But if you have to take out the Shambling Vent, you can't put them to 1. But if they Thoughtseize like they did to press the issue, you just win on the spot. Collective Brutality, we actually get to snare that, so they're not going to gain any life. Why have they not been trying to gain life? I don't understand, opponent. I just don't understand. You're in bolt range right now. Sure. We even played assuming... You know what? If we play Goyf, Goyf blocks this, they still have lethal. I am going to shuffle the deck and cast Visions to see if we can find that bolt. If they decide to animate Shambling Vent, they have 6 power aside from Gideon. I'm going to go for it. Once again, we're going to go nice and low to cast a string of potential cantrips. What do we got? It's a denial. Snapcaster Mage on top. Don't do that to me, deck. Don't do that. Alright, burn plan did not work out. I'm assuming our opponent's going to kill us now. I imagine they're going to pull that off. I still think they're... Well, I guess they had the Collective Brutality for the potential life gain. But Shambling Vent is much closer to guaranteed. I guess you could be playing around removal, but you know there's a good chance that I have counter spells. I think they should have been swinging with that Shambling Vent earlier. On the other hand, we got pretty close, and I'm happy with that. Huntmaster's definitely coming in. EE hits Planeswalkers and tokens. Anger, probably not good. Blood Moon is fantastic against these decks. Pyroclasm, I might bring in for tokens. Basilisk Collar, also on the maybe list. Click looks nice. Spreading Seas even, not bad, especially on the play. We're going to take these. I don't think we're expecting many artifacts and enchantments. Lingering Souls means they might not have Graveyard Hate, but they also might. We're probably going to board out 1 Mandrills. 1 Thought Scour. Spell Snare's decent, but besides Collective Brutality, I don't think they have many 2s. So that's going to go. Roast looks really bad. Dismember kills Gideons. And I like things that kill Gideons. Echoing Truth looks decent. Burn spells look kind of good. Forked Bolt deals with Lingering Souls to an extent. I kind of want to keep Lightning Bolt just because it kills Vent, but we'll board out one. One more card needs to go. Maybe a Stubborn Denial. Oh, Curious Obsession. That's getting out of the deck. Don't think I want that Stubborn Denial, but I will take this Thought Scour back, I think. Maybe a Snare? I'd rather have the Scour. Let's run that. See what we can do. This probably is about as bad a matchup as the other black-white mid-range deck we went up against earlier. This seems to be more like a Gideon deck, though. Since they had both of those Gideons, this might be Gideon Tribal, which ran around for a little bit. That deck is actually pretty good just because it has a bunch of excellent black and white cards. How good is this hand? It's actually pretty decent. I'm going to keep... We're not going to crack the Bauble on their turn to scry with the fetch land. We're probably going to use it to scry with the Thought Scour, though. I don't want to crack Bauble and give the opponent an opportunity to Thought Seize whatever we draw. We don't do that on this channel if we don't have to. Shambling Vent tapped. I didn't play the Bauble. Very much in the mood for not activating Bauble on our turn. So much so that I elected to just not do anything with it. Then again, we have a Tarmogoyf here. And I don't hate that. Oh, we also have a Mana Leak. That we're going to want to use soon. I'm not going to crack this Bauble yet because I know I want to slam this Tarmogoyf. We are going to get the basic forest because I also know that I want to play around my Blood Moons. We'll probably end up cracking the Bauble on their turn. Hopefully this Goyf survives, and you know what? If we get to Mana Leak something on their third turn, that sounds just delightful. Rest in peace. That's pretty good. Well, that answers the question of do they have Graveyard Hate? Let's find out what they're about to draw. It's a Fatal Push. Somehow Goyf got worse. The 0-1 Goyf got worse. Blood Moon, Blue Source, not Blue Source. Do we hold up Mana Leak, or do we Cantrip? I think I want a Cantrip here. Traverse finds us more lands. Misty is a land. We're going to top both of those. Hold up a lot of nothing. They don't have any haste creatures, so I think we're just going to swing. We don't need Goyf to block yet. So we may as well send our opponent a message. Gideon here, probably gonna hurt, but I don't think you sit around holding up Mana Leak when you have absolutely no pressure. The opponent has a man land they're going to activate in a couple of turns, and you're missing land drops, so I think going for the land drops is much better. I'm probably also going to grab a basic island and slam Blood Moon next turn, especially if we don't see a Planeswalker here. If we do see a Planeswalker, that might change. If we don't, well, slamming Blood Moon looks pretty good. The upside to not slamming Blood Moon is we know we're hitting our fourth land drop for Huntmaster, but because that land drop comes from a Traverse, we don't get to slam Huntmaster on time, so that also looks a little less good. Lingering Souls. I don't mind slamming Blood Moon into that. Let's get an island. This probably is not great, but it's the best we have. We also put them off a Fatal Push here, so that's kind of nice. Liliana, they are very far away from. Gideon, they're a planes away, so that's a little scary. Not much else we can do here, and we're in that classic prison mirror that we sometimes sideboard into, where we run Blood Moon and they run Rest in Peace, and we both try to lock each other out of our best cards. Mandrill's looking very bad right now, but you know what? If we hit a land, Huntmaster comes down, and that is sweet. Forked Bolt. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's good. That is very good. That's what you get for using Rest in Peace, opponent. You could have more spirit tokens if you let that Lingering Souls go to the graveyard. This is why we can't have nice things, opponent. 5 mana for the opponent's a little scary. Mana Leak's going to turn off soon. Hopefully we get some value out of it. I would have loved if they pathed that Goyf. That would have been great. Traverse. Well, we're going to use it. Find probably an island. Next turn. Huntmaster. Very soon. We're getting there. We know about the Fatal Push they can't cast. We can assume they have a lot of other stuff they can't cast, but I think they made all of their land drops. We're not going to Tarfire their face because that might kill something relevant. Mandrill's not coming down yet. Let's play this guy. You know what? If they path Huntmaster, that's not even the worst. We get closer to slamming that Mandrills. Pretty soon we're even going to play Snapcaster Mage as an Ambush Viper. That's going to be fun. They're paying costs. They are not paying costs. They might be paying costs soon. We're also going to want to play around a Wrath effect. We saw Day of Judgment in Game 1. So if they have Plains plus Wrath, we could be in a bad spot. I probably don't want to run out another creature because of that. However, we have Stubborn Denial online right now. And that is looking all kinds of delicious. Oh, on their end step, we're totally going to play 2 Snapcaster Mages. Oh, and then that transforms Huntmaster back, and then we pass the turn and Huntmaster transforms again? Or do we just swing for 10 and then Tarfire them? I think we end up swinging for 10 and Tarfiring. But the other line is pretty cool. Oh, we can't swing for 10. Haha! We get to do the fun line, chat. Traverse, that's not great. Instead, we swing for 8, shoot you with Ravager, and then Tarfire. Double-faced cards are fun. Alright, we won the Prison Mirror. Good job, team. Good job. We're going to board out Mana Leak. Don't think I want Mana Leak anymore. On the draw, this doesn't seem very good. We know they're playing Rest in Peace. I don't really want to board out another Mandrills. I almost want to board out Thought Scour because of that. Then again, we still need a card to replace Mana Leak. Maybe it's one of the Spell Snares? We saw Rest in Peace. Yeah, sure, let's play a Spell Snare. We can hit Cobrew on the draw. That sounds fun. We don't want Mandrills. Roast. We didn't see anything that hits Roast. Maybe we want the Pyroclasm as extra stuff for Lingering Souls. Maybe we want the Basilisk Collar. One of these 3 cards is going to be in the deck for Game 3. Which one, though? Pyroclasm also clears out ally tokens. Excuse me. Thought Scour I feel like we can get away with. We're probably not going to want to be reliant on the graveyard anyways. The reason I kind of want Thought Scour is because I want to hit my land drops. I want to have the mana for turn 3 Moon, turn 4 Huntmaster, I don't want to say turn 6 Mandrills against a Rest in Peace, because I don't really want to hit my first 6 land drops. That's probably more than this deck wants, but if we have something like a turn 8 Mandrills, I could live with it. Let's say no Scour. Pyroclasm, Basilisk Collar. Which is better on the draw specifically? Basilisk Collar is going to be very bad if we don't have a threat down, which is a lot more of a concern with Rest in Peace. These Goyfs end up being 0-1s. Lifelink on an 0-1, not very good. Maybe we just run Pyroclasm, but that's going to be very bad if they don't have the souls. Then again, we're probably in a decent spot if they don't have the souls, but maybe we just want more answers to Planeswalkers and we should have 1 Mana Leak. Let's run 1 Mana Leak. We'll just play Snare over that Scour. We're going to be on the draw here for Game 3. See what we can do. This is a mulligan. This hand is not very good. This hand is not very good in a lot of ways. Stubborn Denial threatens to be a very bad card, although it might be great. Lightning Bolt threatens to be a very bad card, although it might be great. Delver is going to be cast and then killed. Goyfs are probably not going to get to being cast anytime soon, and the same for Moon, if Moon is ever good. Blood Moon probably gets Thoughtseized out of this hand, but I'll keep it, and Searing Visions. Searing Visions would be an awesome card, because that would be like Searing Blaze, where landfall, and then it draws Scries 2 and deals 3 to an opponent. That sounds awesome. I probably wouldn't play it, because you definitely want this effect at 1 mana, but it sounds cool. I'm going to get the basic island. I want to get this fetch out of the way. What do we got? Mandrills is decent if they don't have Rest in Peace. If they have Rest in Peace, we can bounce Rest in Peace, Delve Echoing Truth, and then Mandrills. You know what? In the late game, we could actually bounce Rip on their turn, scour ourselves, and then slam Mandrills, which actually sounds really fun. Blood Moon looks bad. Blood Moon looks very bad. It's Inquisition. Take Blood Moon. Take Blood Moon. That card's great. You have non-basics. Yes. Love it. Even when they have their basics, they have to play around Blood Moon. Love it. I think I want to slam this Mandrills. We're playing it into Path and Liliana. But what else are we doing this turn? EE. Oh, we milled a Huntmaster? That's lame. EE makes beating Planeswalkers a lot easier, although it's still going to be pretty rough. Alright, what are we getting rid of here? I want Delirium, so I think we're going to leave the Blood Moon. Snapcaster Mage probably going to find enough fuel over the course of this game. Mandrills is going to look very silly against any number of Planeswalkers and Path to Exile here. But we don't really have another play, so we're basically leaning on our top decks here. Aw, come on, man. You didn't need that. You have other ways of answering that. That gets us closer to our top decks. The fact that they played out those 2 basics is very interesting. I'm going to assume they don't have many lands in hand. If they did, they probably would have played them already. We can't slam Mandrills, so that sucks. We can play a land tapped. That's something. I think there was merit to playing the EE on 3 there by shocking. That might have been worth it. What do we got? Gids? We have Gids. You can't EE that. Do we bounce that? Bouncing that doesn't feel very good. Lets us play Mandrills a little easier. I think I'm going to bounce that. Oh, that feels bad. We don't have a good answer to this, though. We do not have a good answer. This is a very good Gideon. The last couple of Gideons they printed in Standard were really good. What do we want to do here? Do we bounce? Yeah, I think we do. We're pretty well leaning on our top decks anyways. We need to draw good stuff. Bauble is stuff. I will not question or comment on how good it is. We can afford to shock here. We have plenty of life. Red, blue, blue, green. Delve, probably Echoing Truth. Leave Blood Moon in the bin for Tarmogoyf and for not Snapcaster Mage. Traverse, that's the one. Snapcaster Mage does not like seeing Blood Moons. It's possible you want to crack this Bauble so that you can delve away it instead of the Echoing Truth. We're going to get an artifact into the bin soon enough anyways, but I still don't like drawing before the opponent has a chance to get those discard spells out, so I don't think I'm inclined to do that. I would rather not have instant, I think, in the bin. Gideon's going to come back. That's probably going to make another knight. Oh, we EE on 1. Sorry, EE on 0. Take out the knights, and boom, Mandrills hits Gideon. Assuming they don't have a path. If they have a path, we probably cry ourselves to sleep. Inquisition. Let's get some cards out of our hand. Dismember and land. Well, they are going to take our Dismember. That's disappointing. Cast on 0. Blow up. Swing. Actually, we shouldn't have done that. We should have let them block first, just in case they wouldn't block, and then we don't need to crack the EE yet, so we can play around Lingering Souls a little more. But you probably end up cracking it on their turn once they go to swing with the knight. Are they knights? Are they ally knights? Yeah, once they swing with the knights anyways. We're going to let them take Dismember here. I would rather they discard it than we get rid of it by killing Mandrills. Long way to go for this. Oh, wow, Westvale Abbey. That is going to be scary eventually. Leyline. Okay, so the burn plan is officially off. Do we crack Misty? I don't think so. Maybe. It's not really relevant to any sort of clock. So I kind of just want to thin the deck. Breeding Pool. Well, that's kind of a tilt. Huntmaster, Tarmogoyf, Hooting Mandrill, Snapcaster Mage, Vendilion Click, Savage Knuckleblade, Traverse, any cantrip, Blood Moon. These are all very good top decks. These are all things I would have preferred to draw instead of Breeding Pool. I do want to find a Blood Moon before they have 5 creatures in play. I very much don't want this to transform. That would be extremely bad for us. Finding Blood Moon also turns off all of their double color spells, which means Gideon's get slowed down, Liliana's, Wrath effects. Blood Moon looking very good right now. It wasn't looking good earlier, but right now it looks great. This is a lot of mana. I'm kind of scared. Smells like a Wrath. Yep, that's gonna happen. Can't stop that. Blood Moon's still live. Come on, Blood Moon, rip. Okay, Traverse just got a lot worse. Lingering Souls did too, so that slows them down. Goyf no longer good. Visions, excellent. Let us go through the deck a little bit. Tarfire is bad, so it's probably not worth using to transform this Delver. Tarmogoyf's going to end up chumping something eventually, and we may as well play this at our leisure. I didn't play it last turn, because I figured there wasn't really a point. It doesn't matter, they can't make us discard regular cards. I guess Liliana of the Veil, so maybe I should have played it tapped on the previous turn. I'm more concerned with things like Inquisition Thoughtseize, though. Marsh Flats, sure, that's going to help them play around Blood Moon once we find it. On the bright side, they aren't drawing that well either. We can get rid of that Inquisition. We may as well let these cards be slightly bigger, and we're going to start hitting the 6 key. Yeah, that's fine. Goyf doesn't need to swing. Marsh Flats, you got it. Getting to Plains. Okay, Blood Moon just got worse. Still probably decent. What are they doing? What are they doing? What ability does this have? Oh, it makes dudes. This makes dudes. I forgot this could make dudes. Okay, well, sooner or later, Westvale Abbey will transform. Ooh, Field of Ruin. That's not bad. We are going to get our land. Oh, and that ruins the scry we did, so Tarfire got shuffled back in. The opponent has plenty of basics, so Blood Moon now turns off Westvale and Manlands. That's probably okay. Oh, we could use a Blood Moon. We could use a Blood Moon. Or a Bolt, actually. Bolt deals with that. Tarmogoyf does not. Tarmogoyf does not. We're going to swing for... We don't swing for 1. They can make a creature and kill Delver. We'll play Goyf. Goyf chumps. Goyf chumps. They're going to make a guy. Yep. Alright, we're going to need something decent sometime soon. Otherwise, soon enough, the opponent's going to take this. We have let them had far too many draw steps, and we have drawn far too poorly. Gideon is a good hit. Gideon is a very good hit. That's a clock. That also is going to prevent any damage that Delver would do. Not swinging is a little peculiar. Traverse. That rest in peace is giving us a very hard time. Why didn't I reveal that? I know that Delver's not going to do any damage, but at least it could have 2 toughness. That's something. We should have just revealed that Traverse. I don't think... We have no basics left in the deck. We're not playing it. We're going to pass. This is not going well for us. And it all goes back to game 1, when we could have swung at their face, but we killed a Gideon. Like I said, I'm going to be harping on that probably until the day I die. Knock on wood that I get to complain about this for a very long time, but I do not know what the right line was in that game. I still think the opponent should be swinging with that Shambling Vent much more aggressively. We don't have a way to destroy the Rest in Peace because we didn't board in Revelry, and we already used Truth and EE. We have only 34 cards left in our deck. There's the Engineered Explosives, there's the Echoing Truth. So these Tarmogoyfs aren't getting any bigger. They could probably chump something better, though. Let's see if we can chump 2 power instead of 1. What do we got, opponent? Lingering Souls. Well, that's decent. That is very, very decent. I'm not sure if we stack both decks, can we win? Oh, Snapcaster Mage. We're just drawing all the graveyard synergies now. Assuming we top deck Blood Moon immediately to turn off their stuff, we take 3. Goyf probably gets reserved for chump blocking Gideon. So we don't take damage off of that for a little while. We're going to assume they draw useless non-basics after we've played the Blood Moon out. And then we draw Huntmaster and probably the second Huntmaster so that we can gain enough life to not die to these spirit tokens. That's fine. We need to draw... what else? What else do we draw in Magical Christmas Land? Anger of the Gods probably isn't great because that's going to wipe our board too. Pyroclasm, same thing. I think that, yeah, they may as well swing with the Cleric here. And I think, as bad as this is, we're going to block with the Snapcaster Mage. Let that happen. We have outs. They're there. And we only have 33 cards left in the deck, so they might show up. We just really need them to show up. Huntmaster, okay. I would have preferred Blood Moon first, but Huntmaster is a start. Gideon going to make Huntmaster a lot worse, since they can prevent it and the Ravager side from dealing damage. But we at least get to gain life and make 2/2s. We still need Blood Moon to turn off those lands, though. Shambling Vent and Westvale Abbey doing quite a bit of threatening here. If they do have to go at Huntmaster with Gideon, though, that frees up Delver, which means we can block profitably or maybe even swing for 3 in the air a turn. They probably just double block it, though, so we need to deal with one of the spirits first. Oh, man. What we have to do to win this game. We're going to try. I am not making any promises. They're going to make a dude. They have a card in hand. We don't know what it is. They have to lose a life to do that, so that's nice. That is nice. Oh, we can't target them with Huntmaster either because of that leyline. So Huntmaster basically does nothing. We have to beat Gideon through combat, since we can't use burn spells against it because of leyline. The rules change is not in effect yet. What can we do? I'm really not sure. We need to slog through the tokens and the Shambling Vent and the Westvale Abbey if they end up sacking the tokens, so I do believe we need Blood Moon to win this game. I don't think we're taking this if we don't find Blood Moon. The opponent's in the tank. I'm not sure why. Well, they're paying costs now. Damnation. Yeah, you know what? That's a good way to stop us from winning. Animate Shambling Vent. Animate Gideon. Dismember would be nice right here. Unfortunately, that was discarded. Looks like we're heading to a loss. Why aren't they animating Shambling Vent? Why does this opponent not like animating Shambling Vent? What is their follow-up? Lingering Souls. Is that better? Shambling Vent is still a 3-turn clock while gaining life. Do we even bother playing Delver? I don't think we have outs at this point. We will still play it out, but I'm pretty sure we're out of outs. We just did not find what we needed in the top 29 cards. Are we going to chump Gideon? We could always chump Gideon next turn. That's fine. We'll take it for now. We may as well give Delver a shot at living. We're not going to make it out of this alive, but maybe Delver will. Who knows? Blood Moon. Oh, yeah. We got there. We should have revealed it, too. That would have been great. Do I just cast this Traverse? I mean, we're super dead. They don't know we're super dead. Technically, we have a reason to not just play out our hand and let the opponent know we're absolutely done for. Do they have a counter? West Vale to make a dude. Okay. I was going to say, you don't have enough dudes to animate that. We're not going to swing. Go to the opponent. You know what? We actually might chump with Delver now. We chump with Delver. We go to 2. We make a Huntmaster. We gain 2. We end up at 3. We take 2 more off of the spirits. We chump Gideon with the wolf token. I think we can technically win this if we draw the best cards anyone ever conceived, and they draw absolutely nothing worthwhile. So we are going to let Delver die. As much as I like Delver, I like the chance of winning this more, and Mana Leak is not it. Do we Traverse now? We are definitely casting this. We can leak our Traverse. We didn't hold priority. No, we didn't get to leak Traverse. What a shame. What a shame. Well, let's head to match 5. We're going to take some damage. It would have been nice if they at least tried to cast a spell so we could cast this Mana Leak. That's going to do it. Let's update OBS. We are 1-3. We are not cashing this league. We have not cashed a league, I think, for... Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? We didn't last week, and I don't remember if we did the week before. I think we did the week before. I have to say I don't like not cashing leagues, but what are you going to do? We're here to play Magic, not to make money. I think the deck is good. There is certainly an argument that we played adequately well in most of our matches, at least. I think we played adequately well in all of them. I wouldn't say we played the best we could. There's that decision point in the previous match. I'm sure we could find decisions in Hollow One that were made. We are waiting on our opponent. Our opponent decided to join. We are on the play. Let's do it. How bad is this hand? We have a lot of 1-mana interaction. I'm going to keep it. Hopefully we can at least 2-3. Let's get a Steam Vents. We're more likely to get punished off of not finding red than we are green. Cast that Visions. What do you got, deck? Is it a green source? We don't want either of these. I don't know if we can actually afford to cast that Visions next turn. We might. We might. If we hit a land, we're certainly more likely to cast it. If we hit a land, specifically a blue source so we can Visions plus... Oh, Jesus. It's a Tron deck. Okay. Green source. Nux. I feel like we may as well scoop. We're going to cast Visions because we really need to slam this Goyf. I'd love to have a breeding pool right here. Breeding pool. Draw. Go. Actually, I guess the green source can be on top since we'll draw it next turn anyway. Something for snare. Let us counter a theoretical 2. They might just crack the map, but I don't hate being able to counter the theoretical 2. Mandrills, Tarfire, Bauble are not what we need. Those are going to go away. Well, they have natural Tron. We do not have a second land. We can Tarfire them. Okay, so I want to give them as little information as possible. If we have to discard a card, it's going to be Spell Snare. I don't want to discard a burn spell. I don't want them to know we're running more than the 4 bolts. I don't want to discard a threat because that lets them know we're on Temur. It's going to be Spell Snare. I want the Tron opponent to think we are on a blue-red combo or control deck. Certainly not Storm with this, but maybe they end up thinking we're on blue-red Breach. Maybe. That's a Karn. That's going to tick up. We're going to get rid of the other Snare. Oh, it ticks down. That's not bad. That's fine. We'll still draw a card. It's a breeding pool. We're going to scoop. I do not want them to know about that. We could pass the turn and discard Spell Snare, actually. That's something. I just want to give them the chance to show us another card that we may or may not expect out of Tron. Exile a card from our hand. At this point, we're going to scoop. Don't need them to see anything else. Okay, let's board against Tron. I don't know why, but most Tron decks have been mono-green lately. I'm not sure what the advantage of mono-green over green-black is, given that green-black gets Fatal Push and Collective Brutality. But if there's a difference in how we board between the two lists, we're going to keep it in mind. I doubt there is going to be a difference. I guess Spell Snare looks even worse against mono-green. We're going to board these out. Snapcaster Mage is a bit slow. Burn spells, we just don't want too many of. Not many dismember targets. Same with Roast. Mana Leak falls off eventually. I'd rather have Deprive. And Spell Snare does not hit enough. Deprive, I actually don't know if I want Click. Ceremonious Rejection is fantastic. 3 Blood Moons. Don't want Sweepers. Don't really want Huntmaster. Artifact Hate is nice. What else do I usually board in? Vendilion Click. And Spreading Seas. Did I miss Seas? I did. So this is how we normally board. I don't know if I like Click, just because it's a little slow, and they probably have more than enough top end to just draw something better than what I've been. On the other hand, I don't think I want any of these more. Maybe Mana Leak. But Click is a threat, and I kind of like that. Yeah, having a flash threat seems nice. We'll be on the play again. Hopefully it works much better than last time. This hand already looks better. Turn 1, Delver. Turn 2, Goyf. Turn 3, hopefully suit one of them up with a Curious Obsession and get going. Debatable that we don't want to lead on the breeding pool, but we plan on giving them a bunch of information throughout the course of this game, because we're going to have to play our cards if we have any hope of winning. So I think we've already done enough hide information. The most benefit we're going to get out of hiding the information is having them sideboard in a way that is suboptimal. I might just suit this up, but I kind of want to play Goyf here. Tarmogoyf might not do anything by the time we swing. I think we're just going to suit Delver up. Yeah, I want to draw a card. It's a Snapcaster Mage. That's not great. We don't have a lot of great stuff in our hand. The opponent has Tron. Alright, well, Delver is going to transform, and we're going to hit an endless string of counters. So joke's on you, opponent. Serum Vision is not quite there. I do think I want to cast that, though. Land, and now we just need to find a counterspell off of the Curious Obsession. Oh, Stubborn Denial is online because this is a 4-3. Come on, Delver. Draw a counter. You can do it. I believe in you, Delver. Delver, why do you forsake me like this? We're going to play out this Tarmogoyf. I want to get a green card on the board in case we need to slam Blood Moon next turn. We probably need to slam Blood Moon next turn. Green, blue. A lot of green cards going to end up stranded in our hand. Deprive and Vendilion Click also going to look very bad. But this is our out. It's not a great out, but it is ours. Urza's Mine going to hit the battlefield. What do you got? Wormcoil? Oh, do they not have a payoff yet? Don't have a payoff. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't find a payoff card. Do they actually not have a payoff? This might be a Sylvan Scrying. Which actually doesn't look great because of the Blood Moon. They didn't have the payoff, chat. They had Natural Tron, but they didn't have the payoff. The map hands are included in Natural Tron. Oh, they get to take our Blood Moon. Everything was great until they hit their Thought-Knot Seer, which I can't really even complain about because they used a Tron land to cast it, not an Eldrazi Temple, which makes it kinda sorta legit. Eldrazi Temple is certainly a card I like less. We're not going to play that yet. We probably swing with this. In with the Aberration. They might not have payoff, chat. There's a chance. There is a chance. We can do it. I believe in us. Stubborn Denial. Okay. I think in this spot we want to hold back and just cast some spells. Denial has Ferocious online. We have Denial, Snap Denial. If it's a Wormcoil engine, we're going to Echoing Truth it. They have plenty of mana. What do you have, opponent? We have a clock thanks to that Curious Obsession, and it's doing work. I gotta say I like this against Tron. This feels nice. Having these three cards do nothing in my hand, that feels less nice. This feels nice. Strictly Better Curiosity is something I can get behind. Our opponent is offering to scoop the match to us in hopes that we cash, but we're 1-3 and we're not going to cash. So, hopefully we get to play one last match against Tron. Also, good on the opponent. Good guy opponent. We're going to keep this. We have turn 1 Delver, Eventual Blood Moon. Blood Moon on the draw, probably too slow, but we might have a counterspell at some point to bridge it. Good guy opponent, offering to scoop. They didn't have turn 1 map. That's a start. We might play that Goyfon too. We're not going to get our basics just yet, because I would like to not let them know that I have Blood Moon in my hand. Ancient Stirrings, that's fine. Oblivion Stone. If they cast that on 3, I'm going to be a little worried, because that means on turn 5 it's coming down. Grafdigger's Cage, okay. That's going to make Ancient Grudge and Snapcaster Mage a lot worse. What do we got? Stomping Ground. That does not transform a Delver of Secrets. We are either going Curious Obsession on this or Slam Tarmogoyf. If they play an Oblivion Stone next turn, we have a couple of turns to hit them before Oblivion Stone goes off, so I think I'm going to slam the Tarmogoyf. We're going to hope that we can deal enough damage before Oblivion Stone gets cracked. We also might just draw an Artifact Destruction spell to blow it up. Or the Echoing Truth. Look at Echoing Truth coming up in so many scenarios. I don't think it's actually been profitable for us yet, but it has so much potential. I love the amount of potential bouncing non-lands has. I'd prefer if it could bounce anything, but that would be more akin to Boomerang. They don't have Tron. Is it O-Stone? It's O-Stone. We probably have to slam Moon anyways. Flooded Strand not going to get revealed. If we slam Blood Moon, what happens? We don't get to Curious Obsession, which is something I'm not happy about. But I'm pretty sure we have to do it anyways. Tron doesn't actually run that many lands. They have a lot of ways to cantrip, so there's a good chance they find Tron anyways, but they might not hit enough land drops for this to really go off, and then they lose their Grafdigger's Cage. So I think it's going to be maybe worth it. We're going to try to get damage in. Oh, no, I didn't have the... I did not have the Flooded Strand down before we drew. I was not able to shuffle away the Stomping Ground. If we could shuffle away the Stomping Ground, definitely what I want to do. They have land number 4, and it's a pretty good one. Ooh, Ancient Stirrings. That pretty well means next turn Blood Moon's gone. I might want to use the Curious Obsession anyways, just to get a little deeper into the deck. Ancient Stirrings found a Wormcoil Engine. So either there were no lands in the 5, or they just have the 5th land anyways. Here's another O-Stone. I feel like they shouldn't play this just because one's going to blow up the other. Wooded Foothills, not what I want to see. Curiosity probably just goes on Delver. I don't think it really matters. Oh, we actually can't even cast a counterspell because of Blood Moon. Let's get in for 5. We're going to draw a card. We can cast Artifact Destruction, though Lightning Bolt, not the best. We might eventually take this, though. We know they have a Wormcoil, so we are going to get Wormcoiled very soon. Probably too soon for us to take this. Do we know about Chromatic Sphere? It's in the graveyard. No, that's Chromatic Star. Oh, that's O-Stone. Whoops, we definitely know about that. I believe I want to bolt them on the end step. Playing out the second O-Stone, actually, probably good, just in case we hit the Artifact Destruction spell. We're going to do this so that eventually we can Snap Bolt. Although it's probably not great, I'm going to have the option anyways. Oh, I didn't play a land last turn. That's a misplay. Flooded Strand. Okay, well, we can call variance on this one too, folks. We definitely didn't play our best because I forgot to play that land. And it's entirely possible you don't want to slam these, although I'm inclined to assume that you do. Man, did we draw lands. 7 lands against Tron. That's where you want to be. O-Stone's going to go off. A lot of stuff's going to get destroyed. We're going to end step Snap Bolt. And I'm pretty sure we're dead after that. Don't think there's anything we can do. Snapcaster Mage not going to be able to get in because of that Wormcoil Engine. They might miss this land. They might miss this land. If they put another Grafdigger's Cage on the stack, we are definitely slamming Snapcaster Mage. As is, they just hit Tron, so things not looking like they're going to go well. That's fine. Can't stop Wormcoil anyways. We have a chance. We might hit Draw Spell into Bolt. That could win it for us. The opponent also needs to not have anything good. Very important requirement for that to be a good line. We're going to Snap Bolt here. If we can bounce this Wormcoil, they don't get to gain life immediately, and we get the extra 2 damage off of Snapcaster Mage, and then Burn Spell off the top wins us the game. So that would be pretty cool. As is, it's a Deprive. Well, we can get a basic island. I don't know. Is it just variance? Is it the deck? Is it me? I feel like we're losing a lot lately. And I'm pretty sure that's just an objective fact. Eight mana, 10 mana. Okay. Do we counter Ulamog? We're pretty well dead anyways. And the cast trigger still happens, but you know what? I never liked Ulamog. I don't know about the rest of you. I never liked the guy. I'm happy to see him hit the graveyard. Snapcaster Mage in a land going to get exiled. Well, we have plenty of lands, so that's not a problem. Sylvan Scrying, sure. Probably a Sanctum of Ugin. Sanctum of Ugin. Yep, makes sense. Just in case we somehow claw out of this, but the opponent's going to 10 life. We're not clawing out of this. What do we got? We should have fetched there, but it doesn't actually matter. We're going to put this island back down. We may as well. We're also going to defiantly Tarfire something. We don't have to Tarfire yet, which is nice. We get to hold on to this. In what scenario is holding on to this specifically good? I don't know. I think we're just extraordinarily dead. Echoing Truth. Bouncing all of the Wormcoil engines. All 2 of them. You know what? If these died, both tokens are named Worm. So we could actually bounce all of the tokens with Echoing Truth, which is another fun thing we could theoretically do. We have plenty of mana, so there's no need to Tarfire yet. Delver of Secrets. Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. Let's play out a land. That one. Well, neither us nor our opponent are cashing this league. But at least they took the match. We got game 2, which I don't know we actually deserved because they scooped. But, well, we got game 2. Not a good league for us. A lot of not good leagues for us. I think I'm going to take a long look at the deck and see if I can somehow improve it. Or maybe practice a little more with the matchups we've been losing to. If we can get a decent win rate against Hollow One, I'd be pretty happy. And maybe I'll just try to draw better. Are we just going to scoop? I think they're waiting for us to scoop. I'm going to scoop. We're very dead. We are very, very dead. Let's take a look at the deck. If anybody in chat or on YouTube has any sweet recommendations for how to improve this, I am definitely all ears. Next week, we might be playing Chart and Shoal again because I've updated it post-unbanning. I don't like the look of it yet, but if I can tune the sideboard enough to where I'm happy with it by next week, I'm probably going to play that. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to practice some common matchups and head back in this. That was rough. That was very, very rough. I feel like there was at least some variance, but you know what? Some of that was deck, some of that was us. And that's the stuff we can improve. That's the stuff we want to improve. That's how we get our win rate up. So I think I'm going to be working on this a little more. I'm sure there's more tuning to be done. I'm not sure what it is. On paper, I'm pretty happy with the list. In practice, I don't think I am. So I'm going to look at that. Probably going to rewatch these to specifically see where we went wrong. Anyways, thanks to everybody who tuned in. If you're just catching the end of this and you want to see the earlier parts of the stream, you can catch it on YouTube. MNES space MTG on YouTube. If you search the Twitch username, it's going to come up anyways. If anybody wants to talk about anything, discuss anything while I'm still live, shoot. I'm always happy to talk about Magic. You can catch me when I'm offline by commenting on any of my YouTube videos, or sending me a message on MTG Salvation, Tapped Out, pretty much anywhere you can think of. I will see you all next time. Thanks to everybody who tuned in or watched the recording. And the sign-off's not in the right order, but I hope you enjoyed this video, or stream, or however you watched this. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. I'll see you next week. Maybe sooner if I record anything during the week, but probably next week.